Hey, what's up, Jungle Force gang? Lion is here, and welcome back with another video. As always, if you rock with your boy, go ahead and hit the like button after you've seen the video, subscribe, and put on the post notifications. With that being said, let's get into today's video. So today I want to essentially talk about the big three. And by big three, I mean my big three. My big three being One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. I've been watching anime for a very long time. Of course, my channel is new, but I have been an anime fan for a long time. So, I essentially want to talk about the pros and cons, but ultimately why I love all three. Maybe one day I'll do a video with Dragon Ball Z, because to be honest with you, I always view Dragon Ball Z as, the king. Despite, its flaws, I still rock with Dragon Ball Z, but that's for another time. Today's the big three time. Today's the big three, and that's mainly because, as we know, Bleach is coming back. So, with that being said, I know I've been doing a lot of One Piece content, but that's mainly because I've been reading the manga of One Piece. I don't read the Boruto manga. I see glimpses of it, but I don't read the Boruto manga. And Naruto is obviously finished, and Bleach is also finished, so I can't really review those two, right? But let's start off with One Piece. So, I always like to get the bad out of the way. So I'm going to say the cons of One Piece, and I'll tell you the cons of Bleach and Naruto. So for me, the con of One Piece, and this is my opinion, if you're strictly talking about the anime, is the pacing. And of course, that's been a big issue from the beginning. Well, actually, not really true. At the beginning of One Piece, because I'm currently rewatching the entire One Piece series. I think I'm on currently. I just got finished the Sky. I just got finished watching the Skypiea arc, and now I'm entering the Water 7 arc. So just because I have nothing to do, so I'm like, you know what? Let me just rewatch One Piece. The beginning of One Piece wasn't too bad. With Zoro, when Luffy was finding his crew, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, and things of that nature. But I did notice throughout, as time progressed, it started to slow down a little bit. But obviously, you don't really think about that because One Piece have so many episodes and you can keep going. I think the issue is when you finally catch up to One Piece and you're like, dang, out of everything that happened, all we seen was Luffy running. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's a big con of it. And to be honest with you, though I enjoyed it, compared to the other big three, um, the beginning was kind of slow. I feel like you'll appreciate that later on, but like just looking at Naruto, you see Naruto, all these abilities that Naruto had, the pranks, it just seemed more interesting. You were more like, okay, yeah, I want to watch this. Ichigo, when he transformed into his Soul Reaper, you're like, oh yeah, like they went fast with it. Not super fast, but they went a lot at a rate that was a lot quicker than that of One Piece. Um but yeah, like overall though, there are a few times there was a few times where at the beginning of One Piece you kind of thought like, okay, this is going to be a repetitive series. Obviously, if you continue to watch One Piece, you know that Oda doesn't essentially take it that way, and it's kind of harder to you know what will happen. But at the beginning, One Piece kind of felt very very predictable, right? Obviously, like I said, that's changed, but yeah, overall, those are the cons of One Piece. Oh, and I guess another con, and again, this is something that One Piece have fixed. Well, not fixed, but I feel like One Piece is getting better at. And this the con that I'm about to name is a huge con in Naruto, and that's you know characters not getting as much shine as Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. And to be honest, Luffy always get the most shine. But Zoro has some great moments. Sanji have his great moments, and for the longest time, I always was wondering, like, okay, is Usopp ever going to, develop into that, warrior? And so that's the only con that I can think of. Also, characters like Kid and Law, they start off really good and then they kind of dip off a little bit. But this con is still nowhere near as bad as Naruto. And speaking of Naruto, let's transition to Naruto. So since I've just got done talking about characters and things of that nature, let's talk about one of my biggest con of Naruto, which is Naruto and Sasuke only being the two characters to get any development in Naruto. Like the way I see it, yes, you can, like, it's fine to make Naruto and Sasuke the strongest, but we still could have seen like fight scenes and cool action, scenes from, Rock Lee, Neji, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just I just really wish that we would have got what, back in the day when Naruto was a kid, when we seen all this amazing things from Naruto, Sasuke, Lee, Gaara, Neji. They had some awesome moments in old school OG Naruto. And then when we get into Shippuden and in Boruto, it's just everybody just sucks. That's a big con that Naruto has. And again, One Piece kind of have that con, but One Piece is getting better. Obviously Luffy is not just the best in his crew. Sanji and Zoro is getting some big time development and things of that nature. Nico Robin in the recent manga chapters is getting a lot of development and things of that nature. So hey, One Piece is getting better with that. Naruto kind of fell apart, and I'm questioning as to why. Like why? Just why? Um, Another con for Naruto will probably be in Shippuden. Like, I liked it Kid Naruto a lot more than I did Shippuden Naruto. Like, OG Naruto, I had several favorite characters: Naruto, Sasuke, Rock Lee, Gaara, and Neji. And if I wanted to give you a six-man, Shikamaru, right? When we got into Shippuden, like, truth be told, there were some other characters like Kakashi, Jiraiya. Like, love them characters. When we got into Shippuden, really the only characters that seemed to kind of be consistent was Sasuke, and I just, and so Sasuke ended up becoming my favorite character in Naruto. Now, granted, there was some parts about Sasuke that I wasn't the biggest fan of, but there's some things that Naruto have said and done in the series that I was like, not really rocking with it. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, Luffy have done some idiotic moments that I was like, God dang it, Luffy. But Naruto kind of outdid Luffy in that department. So yeah, that's one of the biggest cons for me, is that Naruto kind of, though he gained power in terms of his development, I was like don't get me wrong, his development was like, he got developed in terms of like his thinking and his viewpoints, and he was less of a prankster than when he was a kid. But I don't know, there's just certain things. I guess I should give you an example of what I'm talking about, and that's, the unrealistic behavior that he had with Sasuke, of wanting to bring Sasuke back. Like, I get it, that's your friend, but ultimately, like, to me, I felt like that was more of a toxic mindset to have. Also, this man, like, during the war, this man literally was like, oh, Obito, he said something about Obito that I just threw me off for a loop. I was like, really, bro? Like, he said something about Obito being the greatest ninja or shinobi or something like that. And I was like, really, Naruto? I don't know. It's just certain things that Naruto did, I was like, it was like kind of cringy in a sense. But outside of that, like, Naruto he's still one of my favorite characters. And I think one of my favorite Naruto outside of Kid Naruto is actually Naruto. That Naruto design, that Naruto is probably one of my favorite Narutos. Kid Naruto and the last Naruto. Shippuden Naruto is probably my least favorite Naruto in terms of just character development. I like, starting off, Naruto was pretty cool, but it's just like, and I'm not talking about power wise, I'm just talking about like his personality, like Naruto personality, just personality wise. I think Kid Naruto and the last Naruto, great personality. Shippuden Naruto, he still had that great personality, but it kind of dibbled a little bit. Dibbled. And then Naruto, in terms of personality, is probably third, if you ask me. So, but yeah, outside of that, I guess you can say sometimes the power was a bit inconsistent with Naruto, but to be honest with you, I don't really mind that. And then I guess the fillers, Naruto fillers, also One Piece, when they do have fillers, are god awful. They just really, some Naruto fillers are bangers, but some where you be like, come on, bro. But speaking of fillers, ooh, let's go with Bleach. So starting off with Bleach, one of the biggest cons. Now, to be honest with you, I actually enjoy Bleach fillers. The issue with Bleach fillers is they are arcs. They far too long, and it always happened in the middle of a arc that you were very passionate and excited about, like the Ron Car arc. You was like, man, I can't wait to see it. Ichigo go toe to toe with Ukiyoda, Eyes, and all of that good jazz, and then bam, we got a 30 episode arc right in the center of an arc that we already on, and that was like, yeah, it just wasn't it. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why Bleach popularity kind of tanked. But for me personally, I love Bleach, and I love the fillers. But maybe for me, when I started watching Bleach was pretty much already done, so I ain't had too much of an issue. But thinking back of it now, it's like, that filler could have been like shorter, or that filler could have been after the current arc, the Aizen arc or whatnot. So outside of that, another con is for Bleach is essentially like, man, like some of the characters, like, don't get me wrong, Bleach have great character development in terms of like, action packs and things of that nature, but some characters we didn't really get to fully understand or see in the manga or in the anime. We didn't see some characters Bankai, and so it kind of felt like, Also for me, the placement of certain characters' ranks was a little bit in question. I felt like some things could have been explained a little bit better, like what's going on with Ichigo. How is he's in the, like, this is towards the end of the Bleach. How is he still in the Soul Society? To be honest, the ending for me was not that bad, but I was a little bit disappointed about Renji not being a captain. Now I get it. Some people, I heard and seen that people was like, oh, Renji, he don't want to be a captain because he's like Ikkaku. Oh, I don't necessarily think that's fully true. Mainly because in the anime, I remember Renji was, asking Ikkaku, and I don't know if that's a filler or not, but they say they put it in anime. Renji was asking Ikkaku like, hey, you got the power to essentially be a captain. Why won't you use it? So you would think that Renji would take his own advice and be a captain. Like, I'm just wondering, like, was he even at least offered the position? And if he turned it down, cool. But was Renji at least offered a captain position? If he was offered a captain position and he decided to stay, cool. I ain't even mad at it. But I really wish they would have put that in, because I'm like, man, Renji, the captains they did decide to go with, I'm like, oh, they seem like Ikkaku can beat. So I just wasn't a fan of that. That part right there really irked me, you know what I mean? But outside of that, and the fact that, and I'll just let you know, out of the three main characters, Ichigo is actually my favorite. But I will admit, in terms of his abilities, they not as exciting, and he spammed his Bankai a little too much. So that's another con, and that's a con that's going towards Ichigo. And I love Ichigo in terms of like his personality and things of that nature. I really rock with Ichigo personality, but I really wish he had more abilities. And I know there was a certain point where you kind of wondered about Naruto. Oh, you probably, and I really wish Naruto had other unique abilities, but I do like how Naruto used and utilized his abilities, his different Rasengan, his different shadow cones. Like he never makes it boring. And then Luffy with all his mountain attacks, like they really utilize what they got and create different forms and different variations, and that's something that I appreciate from Luffy and Naruto. Something that I wish Ichigo would have done a little bit more. It's just something, you know. But with that being said, those are all the cons. Overall, all three have a special place in my heart. I really love all three. And so let's get into the pros. Starting off with One Piece. One Piece is a journey. And it feels like like I have played this game called Persona, and it's a very long game. But once you're done with the game, you kind of feel like, man, you really grown with these characters. One Piece is great with making character development, making a variety of different personalities kind of mingle together. That is one thing that I really appreciate from One Piece. The story is great, and one thing about One Piece is everything is always moving. So we might be seeing Luffy doing one thing over here, and you might be like, oh man, they done forgot about the rest of the world. The world building in One Piece is obviously the best out of the three. Luffy's not going to just do. We're not just going to see Luffy do one thing and then all the characters just stay stagnant. They always moving. Like when Luffy went on that 2-year training, he became a warlord. So it's always moving elements. And that is something that I really do appreciate. And I love every single Straw Hat member. They all cold, bro. Like that's one of the reasons why I want to see each Straw Hat member do a little bit more. It's because of those moments. I want to see Usopp become the brave warrior. I want to see Nami, throw hands. Even she don't have to be the strongest. Speaking of Nami, one thing that I appreciate from Oda is characters stay who they are. Nami don't try to pretend like she the biggest, baddest. No, but she's very loyal to the crew. She has this mindset like, hey, Luffy is going to be the king of the pirates. She's going to rock with Luffy, even though she knows she's not strong. And though she's not strong, if she has to fight for her crew, she will fight. Same go for Chopper. Same go for Usopp. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I appreciate. Going back to, like, let's say Naruto. This might be another con, but I'm just trying to give you guys a demonstration. Sakura. I know a lot of people hate Sakura. To be honest with you, this is actually a pro for Naruto. Sakura is actually really good in the movies. I don't know why she's really good in Naruto movies, and they just like, hey, skip Sakura in the anime, but in the movie, Sakura is pretty cold. I believe a lot of people would have respected Sakura a lot more. Had Sakura stayed essentially like, hey, I know I'm not stronger than you, Naruto. I know I'm not stronger than you, Sasuke. But guess what? I'm going to do my part. Kind of going back to what Zoro was talking, like when Zoro was telling Chopper in Alabasta arc, like, hey, we just a crew that does what we can. I feel like if they had that dynamic in Naruto, or if they actually made Sakura, have some abilities of her own that was different from Tsunade, Sakura would have been a much loved character. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, overall, in terms of characters, One Piece have personality-wise, got it. Love that. Love the story. Love everything about it. Now going into also the fight scenes. The fight scenes out of all three of the big three, One Piece fight scenes are actually not the best. This sounds like a con, but no, this is actually a pro because I have noticed that One Piece have stepped up they fight scenes a lot. So the action packed scenes is getting much better in One Piece. So that's something that I can appreciate, that they are always evolving. So with that being said, let's go on to Naruto. Like I said, Naruto, Kid Naruto might be my favorite version of Naruto. And to be honest, the story when he was a kid was a lot more, you know, consistent in terms of the power scaling. But Shippuden brought so many great villains. Villain Rise, Naruto, and Bleach's, they like a toss up for me. Naruto villains are amongst the best villains. Madara, the twist and turns was very interesting, and just the storytelling. Now this is across the board from Naruto to Naruto Shippuden. Naruto makes you kind of feel like you want to do the right thing at all the time. Like, there's so many principles that Naruto have pretty much acknowledged, like the will to not give up, to be with your friends. And now I know I said I didn't like the fact that Naruto was, so, into Sasuke. Like that's why I like the kid Naruto, because when he tried to save Sasuke when he was a kid, for me, I felt like that was cool. But I felt like Naruto was beating himself up in Shippuden trying to get Sasuke, and I felt like that was just unhealthy, because there's for me, it's always a balance. There's always a limit. It's always like, all right, at what point do you say, okay, this guy is going too far, let me look after all my other friends that I have to make sure this guy doesn't destroy that. But outside of that, I do like the fact that Naruto never give up. He always faced the odds. And Naruto had one of the most cleanest transformations throughout anime history, bro. Bijou mode, chakra mode, whatever you want to call it, sage mode, sage path, whatever, bro. When I first seen that, I was like, oh boy, this boy clean. And then sage mode. So Naruto abilities, Naruto work ethic, and then Naruto, achieving his goal. I think that was probably the best thing in Naruto. Also, Naruto has some of the most legendary fights ever. Up there with Dragon Ball Z. Bleach is also a toss-up. We're gonna get to Bleach too. Rock Lee versus Gaara. I mean, Naruto versus Sasuke when they was kid. Choji versus the Fat Sound Ninja. Nechi versus the Spider Sound Ninja. Like, so many great fights. Getting into Shippuden, we got Sasuke versus Itachi, Jiraiya versus Pain, Pain versus Naruto, Madara versus the Lions, Sasuke and Naruto versus Madara. Before that, actually, Obito versus Kakashi. Got eight Gate Guy versus Madara. Naruto versus Sasuke Part 2, which was like a movie. The Last of Us. Like, so going into even Boruto, Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki. Like, bro, Naruto in terms of the beauty and action is godly, bro. And that's something you cannot you can't say, hey, Naruto didn't have amongst some of the best fight scenes in anime. They was great. So with that being said, going into Bleach. Now, this is something that I really like about Bleach. Out of the three, big three. Sorry, I'm lost for words. Bleach actually give its care, like, they, in terms of like background knowledge, like One Piece does a really good job at telling the background of their characters. Bleach, there's a few characters you might be like, man, I like this character and I want to know more about. But in terms of showing off their characters, giving them fight scenes and action pack and making each of their characters useful, Bleach take it down. Some of the best fights in Bleach does not even evolve around Ichigo. Like, and don't get me wrong, Ichigo have among some of the best fights. Just like with Naruto, this is why I said Bleach and Naruto is a toss-up for me, bro. I was gonna say Ichigo versus Byakuya, Ichigo versus Kenpachi, Ichigo versus Renji. Those three fights all happened. Hell, Ichigo versus Ikaku was pretty decent. All of that happened within the first arc. Then we get into the Arrancar arc. Then we get to see Ichigo versus Grimjaw. We get to see Kenpachi versus Espada number 5. We get to see the captains fight the different types of spotters. One of the best fights in that arc was I forgot the Captain Nine. He was the blind captain, and he fought the dog captain. I'm sorry, I forgot their names, but though when they fought, that fight was clean. And then we had Ukiyoda versus Ichigo. We had and I know I'm not naming them in order, but we had so many great fights and so many like just magnificent moments in anime. And like someone like Kenpachi, like they don't dumb stuff down. Like outside of maybe Ichigo, if Kenpachi can beat this opponent, he annihilate the opponent. He don't do the this opponent. No. That opponent can't beat Kenpachi. That opponent can't beat Kenpachi, and Kenpachi's gonna beat the dog crap out of that opponent. Really appreciate that. I really like how they transformed Renji and Rukia, like how they Bankais in the later in the new up and coming anime arc, bro. So many good things about Bleach. And then personalities, like Bleach and One Piece. In terms of personality, One Piece and Naruto in terms of background, but going back to Bleach, personality rise, like there wasn't a single character that I disliked in Bleach. Whereas for Naruto, there might have been a few characters that I disliked, to be honest. And then One Piece, again, not a single character that I dislike, but in terms of background, Bleach is lacking, because in Naruto, backgrounds was so important, and I really enjoyed seeing like, oh, okay, where did this character come from? They did such a great job and kind of explaining like Madara background, Kaguya background, same goal for One Piece. So that's why I said like One Piece, Naruto, great backgrounds. Bleach and One Piece, amazing, like personalities, seeing each character personalities and things of that nature. And to be honest, there's not really too many people in Naruto that I dislike. Like, and to be honest, I don't even think I dislike Sakura no more. I think that's kind of old. I just wish they would have done more with Sakura, Gaara, Nechi, Lee. But again, I already talked about that. Overall, characters, I love Ichigo, Urahara, Byakuya, Kenpachi. In fact, Kenpachi, Byakuya, and Ichigo are probably my 3 favorite characters in Bleach, but it's so hard. Urahara, Yoruichi, Ichigo Pops, like so many good stories and characters from Bleach that I really appreciate. Like, I don't understand why so many people hate Bleach or hated Bleach, because now Bleach remind me of Andrew. While when Andrew was doing his movie, a lot of people didn't appreciate Andrew from Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man series. I feel like Bleach is Andrew. Wow, now that Bleach is coming back, everybody is showing so much love and all that good stuff. And now people realize like, oh, Bleach actually was really good. But yeah, so that's pretty much my pros and cons. Like, each series is not perfect. You know what I'm saying? Each series have they faults, but to be honest, I feel like they pros is far exceeding the cons. Like the cons be like small, minimal. Like, okay, fine. One Piece pacing is bad. Okay, Naruto might not have the most like hit. It might be sometimes too much. You might be like, oh, that's unbelievable. Why would what I'm saying? Who cares? It's anime. They trying to make it that way in order to get their point across. Bleach, okay, Ichigo, fine. He doesn't know too many techniques. He only know Getsuga Tenshu. Well, from my understanding, they said it takes hundreds, thousands of years to learn different types of techniques. The fact that Ichigo know one technique and he's a human, technically speaking, 15 to 18 years of age, I always thought, it might be a little bit disappointing, but if you think about it, it fits with the narrative of what they was, saying about Bleach, about how hard these techniques are to master and the amount of training you need. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, all small stuff, Oh, that I think a lot of people blow into proportion and just say, "Oh yeah, this sucks." And like every single anime, I think can have essentially probably have their cons. And even if there's an anime that is perfect, maybe they don't have the characters that Naruto, One Piece, um and Bleach have that makes you just feel whole again. Not every anime has that. Even if it's a great anime like Death Note, Death Note, love Death Note. Me personally, there was only two characters that I really liked from Death Note, and I thought the anime was is one of the best. Great writing, was pretty consistent, but there was only two characters that I liked. You look at Naruto, you love a lot of characters. You look at Bleach, you love a lot of characters. You look at One Piece, you love a lot of characters. And so it's those characters that holds the story, brings the story together, and that is why those three animes was known as the big three, because it brought something, it created something, it made you feel, essentially alive. When you was a kid, you love seeing Ichigo transform, love seeing Naruto keep steadily get up, you love seeing One Piece acting goofy. Those three animes brought something to the viewers that I feel that should be appreciated, and we should not essentially say, yo, this is better than that. No, no, just appreciate each of the three for what they are and what they bring to the table. And with that being said, that's the end of my video. Appreciate you guys for staying in and watching. And if you have a question or you guys just want to chop it up into the chat, go ahead and put it in the chat. All right. Peace.